Ever wonder what really makes the difference between someone saying yes or no? Well, today we're diving deep into the work of Robert Cialdini, who is an absolute master of influence, to break down his incredible book, Pre-Suasion. We're going to uncover the hidden art of getting people to agree with you before you even make your point. So, think about it. What makes someone a master persuader? Is it their killer charisma? Maybe their flawless logic? For years, we've all been taught to focus on the message itself. But what if I told you the real secret, the actual magic, happens in the moments before a single word of your request is even spoken? And right there, that leads us to a huge misunderstanding that most of us have about how influence really works. So let's start by totally dismantling what Cialdini calls the persuasion myth. We all kind of believe that persuasion is like being an architect, right? You have to carefully construct this perfect argument, laying down each piece of logic just right. But Cialdini's research shows a completely different truth. The best persuaders, they're more like master gardeners. They don't just build a case, they prepare the soil, they get the audience's mind ready so that when the seed of their idea is finally planted, it lands in the most fertile ground, totally ready to grow. So if the secret weapon isn't in the message itself, where is it? Well, Cialdini gives this whole process a really powerful name, and it is the key to everything we're talking about today: persuasion. So what is persuasion? In a nutshell, it's the art of front-loading someone's attention. It's all about guiding their focus to a specific concept before you make your move. That way, when you finally do make your request, their brain has already been primed to be open to it. You're literally setting the stage for a yes. And listen, this isn't just some clever little tactic. According to Cialdini himself, this is the single defining skill of the most successful influencers out there. They don't just persuade, they persuade. Okay, so how does this actually work in the real world? Cialdini says it's all about creating or just identifying what he calls privileged moments. Think of these as little windows of opportunity, these brief moments when a person's state of mind makes them uniquely receptive to a certain idea. The job of the persuader is simply to open that window. Here's a perfect classic example. Imagine a researcher comes up to you on the street, but instead of just launching into their pitch, they ask you a simple question first. Do you consider yourself an adventurous person? Now, that little question makes you think of all the times you've been bold or tried something new. It puts you in an adventurous mindset. Then they make their request. Great. Would you be willing to try this new soft drink and give us your email address? The result? A huge jump in the number of people who say yes, all because in that privileged moment, they were seeing themselves through the lens of adventure. Now, this might seem like a simple mind trick, but it is grounded in some really deep psychology. So let's take a look under the hood at the engine that makes persuasion run. The incredible, almost unbelievable power of human focus. This is it. This is the absolute key to understanding everything. Whatever we are paying attention to in any given moment, our brain automatically, without us even thinking about it, assigns it more importance. It doesn't matter if it's actually important or not. If it has our focus, it has our weight. This incredible idea from Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman is called the focusing illusion. And it's so true, isn't it? When you're worrying about a big meeting, it feels like the most important thing in the entire world. When you're daydreaming about a vacation, that feels like the center of the universe. Our focus doesn't just see reality. In a way, it creates our perception of it. But hold on, it doesn't stop there. Cialdini uncovers another, even more profound layer to this. It's not just that we think the thing we're focused on is more important. Our brain automatically assumes it's the cause of whatever happens next. The thing in focus becomes the reason for the outcome. This is where it gets absolutely fascinating. They did studies on videotaped police interrogations that show this in a shocking way. When a camera is focused only on the suspect's face, viewers almost always see their confession as totally genuine and voluntary. Why? Because the suspect is the focal point. But, and this is the crazy part, if you just change the camera angle to focus on the interrogator, viewers watch the exact same confession and see it as forced and coerced. What's in focus is seen as the cause. I mean, that is just a profound insight. If you can control what people are focused on before they hear you, you can influence how important they think your message is, and even what they think caused it. So that leads us to the real practical question. How do you actually grab and command that attention? Well, Cialdini identifies what he calls the commanders of attention. These are natural, hardwired triggers that we find almost impossible to ignore. Our brains are built to snap to attention for anything threatening or sexual, for survival. We're total suckers for anything self-relevant. Just hearing your own name in a crowded room proves that. And we get completely captivated by the unfinished. A good mystery or a cliffhanger creates this mental itch that we just have to scratch. And of course, any kind of change in our environment will instantly grab our focus. And these aren't just random tricks. These are powerful, powerful levers because they tap directly into the fundamental wiring of our brains, how we figure out what's important for our survival, our well-being, and just making sense of the world. Okay, now, Cialdini was already famous for his original 6 principles of influence, but his research into persuasion led him to discover a 7th, and honestly, it might be the most powerful one of all. He calls it unity. Unity taps into our most basic tribal instinct, that feeling of we. It goes so much deeper than just simple similarity. It's about a profound sense of shared identity. It's the difference between seeing someone as, an ally and seeing them as actual family. And this distinction is absolutely crucial. Similarity is about having things in common. Hey, we both like the same band. That's cool. But unity is about a shared identity. We grew up in the same small town, or we went through that boot camp together. It creates this powerful bond that says, you are one of us. And when that feeling of unity is triggered, persuasion becomes almost effortless. We help members of our tribe. It's just what we do. We trust them, we support them, we want them to win, because their win feels like our win. It is the ultimate persuasive state to be in. All right, so after digging into the myth, the secret, and the deep psychology of persuasion, let's bring it all home with one last really powerful idea. This is the key that unlocks the whole thing. I want you to really let that quote sink in, because it's the entire philosophy in just one sentence. Your identity isn't some fixed, stable thing. In the moment you're about to make a decision, who you are is fluid, and it's shaped by whatever you're focusing on right then and there. If you're focused on adventure, you become adventurous. If you're focused on being a good professional, you become professional. So the takeaway here is actually pretty simple. True influence, true persuasion, isn't about pushing your message harder or making a better argument. It's about priming the context. The work you do to direct someone's attention and shape their mental frame before you ever ask for anything is the single biggest predictor of your success. And this brings us to one last, kind of provocative thought. If our identity really does shift based on where our attention is, well, that gives us a powerful new way to look at the world. It's not just about influencing others, it's also about understanding ourselves. So as you go about your day, think about that. Where is your attention being pulled? And maybe more importantly, where are you going to choose to focus it next?